Welcome to High Five. Top 5 lovely old couples on Valentine's Day. Number 5. This couple chose a Valentine's Day wedding by chance. Bob and Frances Tippett from Blenheim tied the knot on a Thursday afternoon so they could spend 3 days away on honeymoon before returning to work. Now, 60 years on, and the pair celebrated their diamond wedding anniversary on one of the most romantic days of the year. Number 4. 102-year-old couple married for nearly 80 years. Jean and Vern Ann Baxter don't do a lot for Valentine's Day, but there is some chocolate involved. Jean will buy her a couple of boxes of chocolate turtles. That's okay with Vern Ann, because she's a big fan of chocolate. It's fair to say these two have had their share of Valentine's Days together. This August, they'll celebrate their 80th wedding anniversary. Jean and Vern Ann are both 102 years old. Don't let their age fool you. They remember the day they met like it was yesterday. They met on the 17th of January in 1936. Their relation started when Vern Ann walked into the auto garage Jean worked at. They married the 22nd of August of the same year. The couple took a lot of trips, had 3 children, and still nitpick at one another. After almost 80 years and a lot of memories, they're still going strong. There's nothing better than decades of love for this 102-year-old couple. Number 3. Meet Maurice and Helen. Maurice and Helen got married back in 1934. When they met in 1929, he was 17 and she was 16. Now they have children. Their children have children. And their children have children. 6 of them, in fact. Maurice, then a traveling salesman, met Helen when he visited her dad's business. Maurice ended up staying in the shop for 3 hours, prompting his future mother-in-law to ask, "Who's going to throw him out, you or me?" When World War II broke out, he joined the army. The couple lost their home in South London because of the Blitz, so they moved to Bournemouth, where they ran a chain of clothing stores. When asked how they have stayed together for so long, Helen said, "We are very tolerant of each other, and we do love each other. You mustn't be hard on each other, and you have to give in a little bit." Maurice had a slightly different answer, saying, "The most useful thing is that as long as I agree with her, that I'm safe." Number 2. Couple married for 83 years. It was 1932 when John and Ann met. He was a 20-year-old Syrian refugee and salesman in the seaside town of Bridgeport, Connecticut. And Ann, 17, was a high school senior and his neighbor. Her father wanted her to marry a man 2 decades older than her, as the Depression of the 1930s gripped the U.S. But she couldn't face a future without John. So the pair ran away to Harrison, New York, and eloped in November of 1932. Some 83 years later, the pair are still together, aged 100 and 104 years old, and claim to be the longest married couple in the U.S. Number 1. This old couple made history by getting married at 103 and 91 years old. George Kirby and Doreen Lucky had both loved and lost before they met through an organization for older people. The first having gotten a divorce in his 70s, and the latter sadly having become a widower 3 years earlier. The British couple very soon found themselves drawn to each other and have been together since 1988. But this doesn't seem to have been enough for George, as he decided to propose, and finally, after a 27-year relationship, and on this very day, the couple got married, having a combined age of almost 195 years, breaking the previous Guinness World Record for their oldest couple to ever get married. 103-year-old George and his new bride, as well as their families, are truly happy and state, "We're not doing it for the record. We're getting married because we're in love, and it seems like the right thing to do." Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.